Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and a number of interesting topics to dive into today. A load of Call of Duty amateur players, former ex-pros in the Call of Duty scene going to the college Call of Duty League instead of playing in Challenger side, but also Clayster giving his thoughts on why the Call of Duty League needs to become a lot more like Halo if he's going to continue to enjoy it into the future. Very much intriguing your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach new people, and please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. Firstly, this from Gizmo, kind of remarkable situation right here. Not sure honestly how he dies, but it seems like he just gets straight up punched with the bomb. It's kind of an interesting one. I'm not sure how this even happens. This is just another one of those clips you see every single day honestly at this point, which is, see, he goes into the bomb site right here. The guy gets off the bomb and seems to punch him straight up with the bomb. It's kind of confusing, not sure exactly how that goes on, but I guess classic stuff really from Vanguard at this point. Wanted to mention this as well, because in Warzone, finally, the Ricochet anti-cheat is actually being rolled out to North America. Not sure why Europe is being left behind here. Maybe he'll catch up eventually. But yeah, the kernel level driver is here. Now look, whether this actually works, I'm not 100% sure. Seems like it definitely has some impact. Now, of course, now it's in Warzone. There also has been some talk about a ranked play coming to Warzone relatively soon. I don't know how well, honestly, if they did like a proper elo-based ranked play system, would that work too well in Warzone? I don't really know. Maybe they'll do like an Apex Legends type thing. But hopefully, well, a normal elo ranked play system like we had in World War II will arrive at some point or another into this game as well. Because of course, I'm pretty sure Trek is helping work on ranked play, even though it seems to be nowhere to be found at the present time. And of course, Ricochet also coming to multiplayer is something we all want as well. So I guess this is another step in that direction, but it's still not ideal for challenges and stuff like that if there's no anti-cheat in the game right now, because there's been a lot of talk, especially from Censor and some of the other guys the last few days, the fact that like, yeah, it's not great really that some of these players, even big names, right, theoretically could be cheating, because no one's going to suspect that they are if they're like soft walling and just turning it on in big moments or whatever, because they've got a big name. Now, hopefully the anti-cheat, when it does arrive to multiplayer, will actually deal with that type of stuff, but I'm no means 100% confident that that will indeed be the case. Let's talk about this then, because a really interesting storyline the last couple of days. Pretty much all the organizations in Challengers, with the exception of maybe BBG, like Built by Gamers, or UYU, have basically left the Challenger scene and have gone elsewhere, or at least tried to find other esports that maybe they can actually make more of a profit in, because the Challenger scene and the Call of Duty side right now is not in the greatest spot. Now Panda, as he said right here, me, Adam, that being GodRx, and Nate, that being Pentagram, about to get on the same CCL team at the same time and look like the Alabama football team for the next 4 years while playing Challengers. So they're all going to college, and they're going to compete in the college Call of Duty League, which if anything is actually much better supported, arguably, by the guys that run that than the actual Call of Duty Challengers League itself. Now, I thought this is really interesting, honestly. Some people are saying, yeah, these guys shouldn't do this, right? Like a college Call of Duty is meant to be for like upcoming players or whatever, rather than, guys like, these that are obviously top tier Challenger players have been pros in the past that are going and absolutely dominate the Challenger side. I'm pretty sure maybe Silly's also thinking of a similar thing, but as GodRx says, don't know why people are roasting CCL when there's literally no organizations in Challengers also getting an education for the future. Sounds like a pretty damn good thing to me. So it's honestly a great play from these guys, to be honest. Instead of playing Challengers for no salary, right, from an actual team, because there's no organizations there pretty much anyway right now, and just playing for the prize money, go to college, get like a full scholarship effectively for being a Call of Duty player, and then work through it that way as well. So it's kind of 200 IQ really. I thought this was kind of funny from Methods, though. Pros heading to CCL, yeah, I got a full ride, like, full scholarship, whatever, really, for what? You must be really smart. Yeah, you should see me sneak past my enemy or gather to, like, this guy's absolutely out of control, and there was, I'm squad spotted on Bacage, this type of stuff. So funny stuff really. But yeah, I thought that honestly, all things considered, this is something I'm maybe surprised really that people haven't gone down the route of before. I think it makes a lot of sense really. Definitely there is some talk about it, whether it's actually a good thing or a bad thing. I guess well, from the Call of Duty League side, it's not exactly a good thing, because as Jake Lucky says, the state of the CDL and Challengers is looking so up in the air. Colleges legit are offering players full scholarships to compete in Collegiate quad instead, and therefore they're all just going to go down that route, right, which seems like what's happening right now, which is definitely not the greatest sign for the Challengers League. If some of the players are actually leaving to go and play in the Collegiate College League, like it probably shows that some more support might be in order on that side of things. As Burn says to me, United, I might look like a villain tweeting this, but the CDL has 12 teams, 0 orgs are in Challengers, players have spent years competing and need to convert their value into something if streaming doesn't work out. I see 0 issues with colleges recruiting pro players, and of course, well, the pros actually get an education out of it as well. So I guess it's kind of a win-win in that sense, but kind of crazy situation. And this is actually a Gersh W right here on the timeline. Challengers players fail to keep a roster and switch to college. Like, bro, you're already failing chemistry. You thought this was a particularly good one. Congratulations to Gersh. Let's talk about this then from the Clayster side, because yesterday an interview came up with the Washington Post where he's talking about some of the issues right now with the state of the game. Firstly, how Halo is taking leaps and bounds ahead of where the Call of Duty League is right right now. Clay reckons, look, the open side of Call of Duty was where he had the most fun, those type of events, and of course we looked at earlier today, he might be attending HCS Raleigh and looking to even compete in that, or just attends and kind of get that vibe of an open event where everyone's competing in the open bracket, trying to make it to play against the pros, all this type of stuff that we had in Call of Duty for a long period of time during the kind of MLG, CWL days, and now is of course no longer the case with the franchise league. Clayster reckons this is the number one thing they need to look at, right, and look at the franchise owners and say, look, we need to find a way to kind of change their mindset in terms of allowing this, because yes, amateurs playing the Call of Duty professional teams doesn't necessarily look the greatest for the franchise leagues, the franchise teams that had to put in $25 million to actually get their spot in this situation, but it is much better for the scene in general. So Clayster definitely discussing how exactly that might be the case. Of course, there has been some rumors that have come out, right, where some people have said, Censor for example, that there might be actually some amateur versus pro land this season. Hopefully that'll be the case. The other part of it though is the maps that are in the game. He kind of talks about Vanguard a little bit, the fact that yes, he's frustrated with the state of the game right now and saying that Samurai Dumont and London Docks, if they were to come back, that would change the game in the right direction. As I said before though, if they had doors and like walls and windows and stuff, maybe that wouldn't necessarily be the case.
The number one thing that got me into competitive gaming when I started, right, was I could make a team with my friends. We could go compete in an open tournament, and if we were good enough, we could win the whole thing. That's the most important aspect that we're missing from COD right now, is just more meaningful matches in a more open environment. So hopefully we get there one day. And it culminating over a couple days to like getting down to top 64 and top 32, top 16, and then the fight for the top spot and the hype behind that, I think that was one of the most entertaining times of my life. Obviously, that's very difficult with the franchise structure. Right now, we only have 11 teams, but 12 teams is what the CDL has had the last 2 years. They paid millions of dollars to get in front of the screen and to be on stream and to get their brand out there. Why would they ever play an amateur team who is not paid for that? Why would they get the same airtime and potentially even beat the pro teams? I think there's going to have to be some overhaul in the ownership of CDL teams, like in their minds. There's going to have to be some kind of like changing of the tides where they're going to be okay with that, right? I think people want to see the best amateur teams compete against the best pro teams, right? I think they want to see these bigger tournaments, these bigger storylines, it's driving towards a penultimate goal.
So no doubt there's plenty of problems with Call of Duty in its present state. Aiden even talks about it right now as well from the Warzone side. I think he was even discussing the fact that, like, yes, this new Caldera map for the Warzone fans, he's not particularly enjoying it. He might even go back and play Fortnite or something like that. As he says, I'm embarrassed to be a Call of Duty player right now. Seems like everything from Challengers, CDL and Warzone, and down at Badge right now. I can name a million things wrong with Warzone, but what is even the point? Part of me wants to stop playing until the game is fixed, but I don't even know. So I think in Warzone, I don't really follow it too closely, but some of these tournaments and what they've tried to run, there's so many bugs and problems with that game that the cheaters and the anti-cheat and the fact that that might be fixing things is actually not really the biggest of people's concerns right now. Now, as Simp says, look, mega down bad right now, but we adapt and keep fighting. Call of Duty will like overcome this difficult time, I'm sure, and rebound at some point or another, but it's definitely not an ideal state for the game to be in right now, especially with Halo killing it and all that type of stuff. I wonder what the longevity could be of that game, because we have seen in the past a lot of hype around Halo, and then after a couple of years things start to die out a little bit, so we'll see how that develops over time. But yeah, Simp's like, look, we've got to keep fighting to actually get back in business here, and Slasher says a similar thing about being relatively down bad at the present time. He also said something quite interesting about the state of Vanguard from a viewer perspective. I'm genuinely concerned for the viewing experience of Call of Duty this year. I don't know how we managed to make the game faster every single year. Respawn needs better pacing, it's more fun to play and watch, in my opinion. This is always an interesting opinion really from Slasher, because some people say they much prefer the chaos, right? Like people say, okay, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare, for example, like so many gunfights on the map all the time, like it's great entertainment. But I would really argue that generally I much prefer games like really Black Ops Cold War, when there's not too many engagements, it's not completely crazy, but maybe slightly more engagements really than Black Ops Cold War, to be honest. Like I like it to be possible for someone to drop a 40 bomb, like realistically, rather than like 20 kills. It's kind of impressive on raid hardpoint if it's a relatively comfortable victory, but still, I generally prefer the kind of calm before the storm thing, where like you have a team sets up for the break, like they get the pinch active, then all the gunfights go down and it's a very hectic situation, who's going to win out on the trades, and then one team wins and then the other team is going to spawn out and they have to set up their break as well on the hardpoint, something along those lines. Now, of course, in this game, it's chaos all the time. There's so many gunfights happening, action. It's probably not, I mean, to be honest, even looking at Modern Warfare 5v5, like this game, especially something like Bacage, is still very chaotic. Now, I think for some people that is very entertaining to watch. I think for the players, it's not exactly great, and also for from the viewers trying to get into, let's say you're a new viewer, right, trying to get into Hardpoint and understand what's going on, it's probably better that the game is a little bit slower and a little bit easier to understand, and like there's time for the casters to actually say, okay, this team, you know, look at this player, he's making this pinch on the map, and therefore something's about to happen, as opposed to like a just constant gunfights for 10 minutes and then one team wins. So I think Slasher makes a fair point on this issue, but still, I'm not really sure there's all that much we can do about it, unless maybe slow down the respawn delay or something like that, which I'm sure the pros have been trying over the last couple of weeks. This I thought also was going to call from Gersh as well. In 9 months, you'll see the process pick with Gersh and I. So yeah, you know, wait, what he says right here. So yeah, before, this is where you go. Crimsix is going to slim down after all, since a coaching opportunity has opened. That could be interesting to see if he doesn't get a spot in the CDL. And just to finish off with this clip as well from Dasher that was pretty disgusting, and Bakaj, this just kind of sums up the situation that Slasher was discussing. This map is crazy. Like, look at the amount of kills in the kill feed all the time, because someone dies, they come back alive, and then they're straight back in the mix, right? Because you spawn so close to the hard points because of the squad spawns and all this type of stuff. So yeah, maybe some changes to be due there, at least in future titles. It's not going to happen too much this year, but you know, honestly, like, it's pretty chaotic, especially on this map, but maybe for some people it's actually entertaining that way. But very much intrigued your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting that like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video, and I was like, you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you guys, as always, take care, and I will see you next time.
Are they going water? Are they going water or gate? Bottom house dead. I'm trying to watch every time. I'm trying to watch. I got 2. There that.
Top barn, Lamar. Top barn. Yo, one guy's already pushed out kitchen. He's front house. Front right house.
Oh.
I got to the left.
What was gate spot? What's top barn? What's gate? Gate dead. I have shrieks.
In the corner.
I think we supposed to.
Yeah. He's going up.
Oh my god. Yo, oh, I got time.
Black card. Low left, Mack. What?
I have all right.
You have time?
Watch out mid.
Yo, one guy's close.
Got him.
One guy's deep left, right?
Yeah, no, it's probably Lamar.
Yo, Z, Lamar.
That.
Take time, guys. Push out black card.
Right is open, right?
Two kids, one more kid.
I got